everybody. Guess what? Tuesday again. And I'm so excited. I am so excited to be here with each of you tonight. Have my coffee. Haven't even taken a sip yet. Thanks, Ron. Always for the great coffee. And you can see I have a little bit different setup tonight because we're going to talk about tufting. So tufting is rug making. So it started with, I took a class and I learned how, and I made this rug. So from this became experimenting and playing and learning some things. And so, whenever I learn something, I love to share it with you. So hello, everybody. And I am on YouTube and I'm on my page. And Jill, if you would be so kind to share this over to the group, that way the group can see and not have to search also. Just thanks so much. So you can see if you've been following, I've been posting that I'm doing some classes and I'm trying some virtuals, and there's some things that I have been changing and working on. So without a big dramatic, I'm just going to say that Caesar had an economic workforce change and they laid off 10 of us. And I was one of those that were affected. So I'm no longer working for Caesar. And I just wanted to say it so that when I'm showing product, it doesn't look like I'm not representing them. We all know I have been a Caesar fan. I worked for a reseller. We started a distributor. So I've been with the Caesar family for almost 10 years. I'm always going to say they have phenomenal product. It's just a sign of the times. Things happen. So no ill will, nothing said, but I will be talking about some other brands and some other things that are out there because of not being employed by them anymore. So thanks so much for the love. I appreciate it. It's been, a few weeks and I just kind of had to let everything settle emotionally for me. And, it was hard, not going to lie. Great coworkers. And, it's a family that has been kind of ripped apart. And that's what happens with the world. And it wasn't easy. But again, things happen. But I'm excited about some new things that are going on. I'm working on a website. So that is huge. And I have some great friends that are supporting me. And it takes a village. And I'm very lucky that I have a wonderful village and to have lots of things that are going on. And thanks so much. I appreciate that. And I will go back and read the comments and reply to things. And I just kind of had to let my feelings not be hurt so that I could kind of say that I don't work there without crying and without all the other emotions that go on when these kind of downsizes happen. But door closes, door opens. God is very faithful. And I have a couple of events that are coming up. I'm going to be next Thursday night, the 14th, I'm doing a free scan and cut. And that's just for people, so we can get to know our machines and kind of talk about them, because I'm going to be doing some scan and cut of things online. I'm going to be doing some stuff in some embroidery stores. And I want to see how cameras are set up and we can all kind of learn and do some things together. So that is next Thursday night. If you're interested in that free class, you can send an email to Stephanie says at Gmail. And that way I'll have your email to send a link to. And on the 23rd of this month, on a Saturday, I'm going to be doing a scrappy notebook. And I can post a picture of that. I don't have one right here. A scrappy notebook class that I'm going to do virtual. It is embroidery and it's a 9x14 hoop, but it's amazing. It's a fun project. It's $20. If you're interested in that, send me an email to Stephanie says, and I'll send a invoice. Soon, I won't have to do that. I'll have a website that I can say, go sign up the website. Fingers crossed, Technology, hopefully tonight is going to be my friend. I did get a new computer. So my old computer, I was just trying to hold on just a little bit longer, but it said that it loved me, but it needed a break. So we have a new computer to fill in. I'm going to be at Amy So's in Harmony, Pennsylvania at the end of the month. We're doing a 2-day event, scan and cut and embroidery. So excited for that. If you haven't signed up and you're in that area, grab a friend, make a road trip, come see me in Harmony, Pennsylvania. And I am, very excited about some of the things that are going on. Thanks, Christine. I'm loving this haircut. I love it, love it. My mom actually took a picture of me and posted it, which usually I hate, but it was actually a cutish picture, and I was feeling sassy. So a lot of different things going on. I will be posting more retreats and things. Some of the things I already had going on. A good friend has a retreat house in Woodbury that I use, and for me, that's 20 minutes down the road. And I'm doing some small retreats there, which I love doing because it's very, very intimate because there's only 8 of us at that house. So good times, good times. I'll post more. I'm going to be I have a couple classes at Mid-South Sewing in Murfreesboro, which is my old home store. I'm doing some embroidery and some things there. And for those of you in the Dixon area, I'm going to be at Granny B's doing something on September 20th. I'm doing a day event of Halloween friendly projects. So lots going on, lots and lots to talk about. And like I said, we're going to talk about, because I love influencing, right? We know I'm not an influencer. I'm a craft enabler. I learn a craft, and that way I share it with you to see if it's something that you're interested in. So tufting was something that I got interested in last year, and someone had opened up a shop in Kansas, and I thought it was the coolest thing. So I Googled classes near me, and an event popped up in Atlanta for that Saturday, and this was a Thursday night. So I called the girlfriend, and I'm like, hey, when you get off work tomorrow, I get off work tomorrow. Do you want to drive to Atlanta? Let's take a class on Saturday. And we did. And I did this. So of course, before I even got home, I had ordered a gun. I had been researching. So I'm going to show a few things. And so this is the first gun that I ordered. It looks very intimidating. It's not. It really isn't. But it does look like a major power tool. So this company is called Tuft Love. And Tuft Love is US, and they are in Colorado. So that was the first gun that I ordered and tried it out. And then I ordered my second gun, which is this one. And then I ordered my third gun, which is this one. And this one I love because it is battery pack. I am doing this research so that you don't have to. So the first battery pack that I had weighed almost 11 pounds. 11 pounds gets heavy when you're holding it, tufting. It gets heavy. So then I really started paying attention to the weight of them. So this one is my heaviest at 5 pounds. This is a little over 3 pounds. And this is a little over 3 pounds. So that way you can kind of see the weight does make a difference. And I have another gun that's exactly like this. And I've already, because y'all know me, I've already taught a class or two. And that's why I thought it would be time to share with you. I got 4 guns, and Ron made me multiple frames. And we'll talk about those frames. I'm going to show you one. But first, I wanted to show you guns. So that way you can see the different guns. This one was nice because it came with 2 batteries. And these batteries are pretty universal. So the ones that I have for power tools match this also. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Amy. Amy, I was just telling them they need to be signing up because I'm coming your way. They need to come visit us. I said, grab a friend, make a road trip. So with the battery on, it weighs a little bit more. So that's that gun. And I'm just kind of sliding these out of the way. So you need a gun, a tufting gun, before you can kind of do anything. Next is yarn. And there's all different types of yarn. This one I just started experimenting with today, so I thought I'd show it to you. And it is called Baby Velvet. It's 100% polyester, and it is so soft. I mean, just so soft. Well, when you tuft, you need to make a layer cake, and that's what I have, this cute little layer cake maker. And I want to show you the box because this layer cake maker was it's probably 70 years old, maybe, you know, but older is better. It works beautiful. And I'm just going to show you what it's like. So I have this attached to my table, and I am just going to make us a little layer cake. And Jill's saying no green yarn. I used some green yarn for a project at a retreat, and it was knotted. It had been tied off, all kinds of things. It was such an epic failure. So that way, I'm just going to show what one looks like after I make it, because I already have one down here on the floor. So this is a layer cake, and see how it makes a really pretty design in it. So that is a layer cake, and I set mine down in the floor before I get started just because it makes it easy when I go to tuft. And Jill, because you said that, my yarn just knotted, and I've probably made 5 layer cakes out of this yarn until you made that comment. So we are jinxed. I'm untangling it as I'm talking to y'all. Fixed it. Okay, got that untangled. And typically I make 2 layer cakes because we are going to do 2 strands at a time. So when I thread the gun, I'm going to thread it with 2 strands. So I usually will have 2 layer cakes. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Just wanted to show you how quick that was to make a layer cake. And we'll sit there and make layer cakes and make layer cakes. Here is a black one that I've done. So I have some whites and some blacks down here. I've done all different colors, and that way when I'm ready to play with it, I can. So now that I've talked about yarn and I've talked about a gun, this is tufting material. And it kind of looks like a monk cloth, kind of an Aida cloth, but it's a little bit looser weave. So a few different things that I can do. I have a projector that I can project the image to and trace it. For this image, I'm going to do a ghost. So I'm just going to put this on here, and I'm just going to trace it. And I say I'm going to trace it as soon as I find I wound it until it gets about this fat. And some of them have a stop on it, like a bobbin, but I just kind of wind it as fat as the bottom rim is. So I just have a Sharpie, and I'm just going to quickly trace. And it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because it's yarn. It's forgiving. And I had a projector that a friend had. I have a projector because a friend of mine had one and she wasn't using it. So she let me borrow it to see what did I need before I spend money on one. And it has worked perfect. And it's maybe, you know, a $40 investment in one. There's all different kinds, but I got hers that's inexpensive. And then I'll show you some of the other. Is there any No, Sheila, there is not. Unless it involves a lot of heights. I don't do heights. But I will cook it. I will try cooking anything. I will try about any kind of craft. Have y'all heard a whole other different craft of Jessamite epoxy or resin? Jessamite resin. I made something with it last night, and I made buttons with UV resin last night. So I needed buttons for a project, so I made them out of resin. I will post a picture of those later. Okay, so I just print my design off. I cut it out with scissors. I used a Sharpie, and I trace that out. So that way you can see that's what it looks like. I'm going to move this gun out of my way for a moment. I'm going to move several guns out of my way for the moment. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to travel with these so that if I travel to teach a class. So far I have got a suitcase and did foam and put the guns in like this to where I have them. We'll see what security thinks when I first try to fly with them. So Ron made me this cute, tiny little frame, and we're going to talk about it. So my first frame was about 4 feet by 4 feet, and then we did a 3 foot by 3 foot, and then we did like a 2 by 2. This is 18 inches, and it's perfect so that if I'm just wanting to do small projects and I'm not having to do a whole lot. So I'm going to show you, this is what it looks like. I'm going to turn it around. So these right here are, tack strips, which means they're very, very sharp. And I typically draw blood at least once. Just saying. So this goes this way because I'm going to use that to make my fabric taut, just like we do with our embroidery. And we say kind of drum tight. I want to get it drum tight. So I'm going to clamp this to my table here. And I want it to overflow just a little. Okay. So what is this? So this is my tufting frame. And these are clamps, and I'm just clamping it to the table so that it's secure on here. And you can, it's secure. So then I take my design and I start at the top because this row right here is got that. And I'm just going to pull and wrap and pull and wrap. And then I'll even take it and turn it around and let you see. And you have to be careful because, again, you can pull your fingers and then I take some smaller clamps just to secure it a little bit more because I don't want it to come loose or anything. So you can see it's drum tight, and I got all of these clamps I got at Harbor Freight, and I just kind of walk around it. I've got a ton of them. I probably overkill it, but I feel like, I'd rather overdo it than not do it enough. And you can see, hear that sound? Drum tight. And my design is here, and you'll notice it in just a moment. So the design, I'm going to do it from the back. So what I see and what you see are going to be different. And after I do a little, I'll unclamp it and turn it to where you can see it. So it is like punch needle, except this is my punch. So, I love a power tool. I just find power tools are so fun. So I'm getting that yarn that I threw down on the floor earlier. You can see I have spindles, and Ron made me these cute spindles. He just made this one today for me. It's a little bit too long and my yarn was catching on it. So I'll cut that down. So I'm going to put that there. This is the tool. And I make sure that my gun is off. It is pink, pink, pink. And I'm going to thread it. Let me see if I can kind of get it from here. I'll pick it up after I do this so that you can see what I'm doing. So I thread it through here, and then I'm going to put the yarn up here and pull it through. So let me get the yarn pulled through, and then you'll see the action. I'll hold it up to the camera. I had to rearrange some things in here to get everything ready. And since I've had a little time on my hands, I have gotten a lot of little things accomplished, and I needed, we're crafters, right? We never have enough storage. So Ron and I have put shelving all the way almost around the room, and that way I can put stuff up high that I don't need all the time. So here you can see that I'm just going to pull it, and that way it threads it. So when I turn it on, I'm going to go from the back side, and you're going to apply a little pressure, and you tap, tap, tap. And some people that have taken my class are in here, and they're going to hear that. You have to go tap, 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 tap so that it cuts. And it cuts it, and it's going to look like shag carpet on this side. It doesn't look like shag carpet on my side. So I'm going to do a little just so you can see it. And you can see that I have my cute little ghost. And I'm going to just start at the bottom here. Turn it on, and I really should have used a different color just so you can see it, but I do want a white ghost, so one of my clamps just popped off and it scared me. And so what do y'all think? Isn't this cool? So I had done this on a denim jacket to show you, and it shreds the denim, which I wasn't sure, but I wanted to experiment. And this, like for this is a very fast project. That's why I chose this ghost, because it won't take me any time to get it done. And then I'll show you doing a different color. And and then I'm going to sew this into a jacket, because I don't have a Halloween themed jacket, and you know I need one. And I'm working right now on a UT orange and white one. So you can see, let me move this one just so you can see a little better. See how on this side it's looking fluffy? Isn't it so awesome? Y'all know I get excited and love showing y'all stuff. So, and sometimes your gun will come and thread it, and you keep doing it, and it's just a pain in the rear, just like our machines. And this one, it's behaving so nicely. And it is so quick. I mean, it really doesn't take long. And from the back side, I'm just going slightly row by row by row. And you can't go in a circle. Like I can't go in a circle. So you would go from like 6 to 12 and then 6 to 12 this way. So you can't do it in a circle. As far as crafts goes, it's probably the cheapest craft I've ever started, because we know some of our crafts are expensive. Just a little bit more here. And if something doesn't fill in, you can just take your gun and go back into a gap. Like I just saw a little bit of a gap. I just go right back into it. Okay. What do you think? Does it look like a ghost? Does it look like it? Does it look like it? Only I see is she would never get rid of Ron. Now I got to know what comment. I thought the entire basement, my whole house is a craft room. My whole house. I'm lucky. So I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to pull that yarn through. So this is the correct side. And I will flip this in just a moment and let you see the back side. So I have some black right here. I'm going to do it so that I can do its little eyeballs, and then you can see the eyeballs. Now, if you're OCD, which we all know I am not in any kind of way, every time it cuts the yarn, it does leave, see, look at this fuzz right here. This one more so because it's very chenille-y. But I just sweep it right up and throw it in a bag. And I'm going to save those, and I'll donate my yarn probably to my local shelter, just so they could use it for pillows like I do for scraps at our dog shelters, what I'm talking about. So tufting is hard work, but fun. So Lorraine, earlier I was showing I have several guns, and definitely researched the heaviest one that I found was 11 pounds. The lightest one is 3.5 to maybe 3.9 pounds, I believe is what it was. So now I have the black, and you'll see its little eyes come to life in just a moment. Hopefully. We'll throw some little eyeballs in here. Turn the gun on. And look, he's getting eyeballs. And the nice thing, it's a ghost. They don't have perfect anything. Turn my gun off. You notice, and I'm going to take the yarn out and just set this gun to the side, because I'm going to flip this around so that you can see it. And I'm moving some of the yarn off the floor. Sooner or later, I'll come up with just the right system. I just haven't found it just yet. I haven't found the perfect system. And like this one came, it was almost at the end of my one little layer cake from earlier, and I will re-layer cake it at a later time. So I'm going to leave this part so that you can see it, and I'm going to cut just one little string here. And all I'm going to do is flip it around so that you can see it. My new computer is telling me something about battery. I know I'm plugged in, so I'm fine. You know, you have to get used to all those new things. So I'm holding on because I don't want this to fly off at me. So now I'll hold it to where you can see the little ghost a little better. And then this is what it looks like from the back side. So definitely, you know, you can see these little stragglers I can just pull out. And then there are different types of backing, and I'll show you that also. And there's my cute little eye. Is he not the cutest little ghost? I believe he is. So I'm going to set this back down and clamp him just so this doesn't fall over on me. Because remember what I said? These carpet tacks, I don't want to brag because I've not drawn blood yet, but we're not finished with this live either. So things can happen. And I'd really rather not. The first time that I did, I cut myself so many times just because I wasn't used to it being there. And it was something new. Okay. So there's different backings. And this is one of them if you were making a rug, and it's got little nubbies on it so that it's non-skid. So what I would do is there is a carpet adhesive that I spackle basically on the back of it. And then I can apply this, cut it out of the ring and then apply this. So that's one way that I can do it. I can also, if I'm going to put it on something wearable, I can use just a soft clear glue, Mod Podge, and just paintbrush it on. Basically, you just don't want to be able to pull the yarn out, because right now if I do this, I can pull the yarn out because it's not tied in there. So that way there's several different things. I could use a heat and bond light and heat and bond it so that way it would stick to that heat and bond, and then put a fabric on the other side, which is basically what I'm going to do. And I'm going to apply this to my denim jacket. So let me show you what it looks like if you just put your denim jacket on here. Because I tried that because I really wanted it to work. So here is my denim jacket, and I had done, and then it started shredding the denim. So the denim started ripping apart, and you can see there's some holes in it. And so I used a spray adhesive, and it kind of looks good because it looks like a, you know, kind of a funky little ghost. And I made it work because I'm me, and you know. So when the denim started shredding, I just took, because, you know, us embroiders, we have spray adhesive nearby if we're going to do applique. So I quickly just did spray adhesive, and then I applied this over it. That way my yarn didn't start falling, anything. So I'm going to finish and make him another eye because, and I'm still going to use this because it's adorable. And, you know, so if I don't want it to be quite as shaggy, what do? Well, you just get a razor, an electric razor. You can use guards on it. You can freehand it. You can do cut ends on it. And I'm just going to shave this to an even length. And that way it's all kind of uniform. So I will take it off and I will put it on the table, and then I will use my razor and I'll shave it. So who is ready to tuft? Because I know some of you out there are already searching, and there are a lot of great videos. There's a lot of really good information out there. I've just ordered another gun that is a super low shag. I mean, like really, really low nap. And I want to be able to make pins and do some things like little brooches. So I want something that'll be a little finer. So we'll see how that does. And you know, I'll post information on that. So that poor jacket, I know, but you know me, I probably have 100 denim jackets because I'm so blessed that people get them for me. And I have a whole closet full, and then some because I love grabbing them and playing with them. Donna, come on down. Come to one of my retreats, and we can tuft at night after I get done teaching. So I definitely will be doing some tufting classes at some local stores. And like I said, we're going to figure out how to fly. Ron did make these to where I could take them apart. But again, I have to be really careful because of those tack strips wrapping it. Right now, I have them in kind of like those bags that you put your folding chair in. I put some in that. So that way, that's one of those things. Donna, you don't have to talk your hubby into a trip. You're on a cruise ship or traveling more than you're home. Just give him the new location and tell him to come on, and he'll be great. So Little Miss Muffet, I feel like I should make some kind of a jacket like that just is kind of says one of those things, Amy. I can't wait. I will be in visiting Angela at Studio 1883, and we're going to do a class. We're putting that on the schedule. So that way, those that are outside of Louisville, near Jeffersonville in Indiana, come on over, because that's where I'm going to teach. And I will put that on the calendar once we have those dates. But I can't wait to share some of the things that are going on. Like I said, door closes, door opens, and I get to do the things that I love doing still. So I appreciate each and every one of you. I please beg you to recommend to a friend so that we can grow my social media, because it's more important now more than ever. And, support, keep following, keep sharing, keep hanging out with me on Tuesday nights. I have quite a few of you that have signed up for the free scan and cut and for the virtual scrappy bag. I'll post more info so that you have that on my page and in the group. And let's see, I'm looking to see if I know I missed questions. And Knoxville, they probably would love a tufting class. So we'll have to see if we can get that going on. So firm foam, that's what I was thinking, Caroline. I was putting it in a suitcase with foam, and I was going to do the guns, use like a hot knife to cut out a shape so that I could put them in the suitcase kind of like this. So I can get 2 guns on this side and 2 guns on that side. And it's easy to do. So you would set it up, you would have one tufter on one side of the table, one on the other, and do 2 tables. And typically I did like a morning class and then an afternoon class. And that way, as the morning class is finishing gluing up, the afternoon class can kind of start. So we'll see. But again, thank you for following. Thank you for all that you do. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that. And for the virtual bag, you could just send me an email to So Stephanie Says, and I'll send you an invoice for that. And everybody, fingers crossed that I get the website up and going, because it's something totally new for me and it's a lot to learn, but we got this. And the great thing is, if I make a mistake, it's crafting. The world's not going to end. So everybody, I hope y'all have a great night. It's $20. Thanks so much. And I definitely will send emails out. As I've had a couple sign up, and I'll kind of do a batch of invoices all at once. Thanks, Sierra, for helping me out. I appreciate it. And, I can't wait to see you in person or in a virtual or here next Tuesday night. And next Tuesday night, I'll go ahead and tell you, it's going to be pre-recorded, but I will be in the comments. That gnat shows up every Tuesday night and flies by just to drive me crazy. I will be with my family going to the Biltmore Estates. My mom has been wanting to go there, so we're going to go together. So I will be in the car and traveling, but I will post something, but I'll be in the comments able to answer questions. So everybody have a great night. What night is it? It's Tuesday taco. So if you hadn't had dinner yet, go grab some tacos. Ron's probably throwing on his shoes as he hears me wrapping up, so that we could go get ours. Everybody have a great night, and I'll see you real soon. Bye, gang.